Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a driving comparison between a 2022 Stinger and a 2021. The 2021 was here, but I parked it back before I filmed this clip because I completely forgot to film this clip. So yeah, don't worry, there is a 21, I already drove it, and that's going to be in today's video. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Steiner Kia here in South Salt Lake for giving me some time with both the Stingers. Check out their inventory link below. Let's get into the video. Talk about visibility before we set off here in the 2021 Kia Stinger. So first off, visibility of the hood, just like any other Stinger, it is a little bit of a longer hood, but it's pretty easy to see over. There's your visibility through both the mirrors. Remember, they do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear, which for a longer size car, I feel like it's average from a visibility standpoint. And that all being said, let's set off. We are starting off here in the 2021 Kia Stinger, and I wanted to start off in the 21 first to kind of get a refresher before we go to the 2022 to see if that drives any differently. And every single time I get into one of these Stingers, I realize how nice of a car this actually is. And why there really isn't a point to buying a lot of the more expensive European cars that this is attempting to compete against. But yeah, setting off, I mean, it's a larger size car. You definitely kind of feel that because it feels very planted on the ground, very substantial. It's smooth as well with the ride quality. You definitely do get that luxury car feel from this when you are driving it. And I mean, I feel like this road is perfect for showing it because it's bumpy and it kind of goes up and down and really tests out a car where a lot of roads here, they're not going to be nearly as bad as this. And you got all the train tracks, and it goes like the train tracks don't upset the car. It doesn't go all over the place or anything like that. Now we are going to pop it into the sport mode, and I'm also going to do the manual mode as well. Yeah, I love the 8-speed automatic. It's such a good transmission. It shifts really quick, and we'll get our full-blown acceleration here. You could get into some trouble with this car. It is fast. Like, anyone who says that the Kia Stinger isn't quick is on crack. Like, it is such a fast car. 365 horsepower in the 2021, and let me tell you, it feels like 365 horsepower, if not more. It's just got so much low-end torque, and then once you get into those turbos, it kind of has that old school turbo feel where it just like throws you in your seat, and it just really feels like a quick car. In the sport mode here, it's still, I mean, it still feels smooth, all that from a suspension standpoint. Like, this car does a really good job with soaking stuff up, but more importantly to me, it does a really good job with not bouncing all over the place. A lot of these newer sports cars, kind of the back end will jump all over the place, and this definitely doesn't do that. The back end stays very, very planted. But let's get another full-blown acceleration here with the Stinger. It is so quick. It is monstrously quick. It's just, it amazes me at just the performance this car has for the money. It's just astounding. I'm gonna pop it back into the automatic mode and into the comfort mode so we can sum things up with the 2021. So first off, I still feel like the 21 looks really good on the outside. The interior is still very nice, especially at the price point this is at, just under $50,000 for this GT1 package. I think it's a really nice interior. All the buttons feel nice, everything looks nice, the steering wheel feels nice. Again, it definitely gives you that luxury car feel, and this turn here is horrible because someone can come up from behind. But yeah, definitely very nice from an interior perspective. And then from a driving perspective, it's a luxury sports sedan, and it drives like a luxury sports sedan. It's smooth, it's big, it's planted, but it's fast, and the cornering capabilities of this car is actually really good. Like, it's got enough stability that you can do fun, engaging driving with it. And so as an overall package, The first iteration of the Stinger from the 2018 to the 2021 model year is great. If you're looking at buying potentially a used one, definitely worth it. And I think they have a used 2020 here. So if the new one's outside of your budget, it's that white one right there. Yeah, it's that white one right there. Then check out a used 2020 because they're definitely like, it's a nice car. That's cool. They did like a black hood on that one. That's pretty neat. But yeah, the 21 is still a really good car. And with that being said, let's pop into the 2022 and see if it drives any differently. Well, let's talk about visibility here in the 2022 Stinger before we set off. So visibility over the hood, super solid. I love the heads-up display. And there's your visibility through both of the mirrors. They do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear. So from a visibility standpoint, even though this is kind of a refreshed version of the Stinger, it hasn't really changed. And that all being said, let's set off. So we are setting off here in the 2022 Kia Stinger GT2. And oh, it's got the, look at that. It's got the turn signal camera. Did not notice that when I was doing the walk around. Maybe I should be a better car reviewer. But let's get up and go here in the GT2. So first off, I'm driving this directly back to back with a 21. So you guys are gonna hear a lot of comparisons if this is the review on the 22, because I'm also using this video to do the driving comparison with this versus the 21. But first off, ride quality feels just like any other Stinger. It's still smooth, very composed. I love that freaking turn signal camera. It's such a nice little feature to have, just so that you have that nice little, obviously it's a blind spot camera, especially on the interstate, like that is huge. But yeah, it feels just like any other Stinger from a ride quality perspective. And we'll kind of see it going over these bumps and everything. Yeah, it's just as composed. I really can't perceive too much of a difference from a driving perspective. The steering does feel a little bit heavier though. I am noticing that. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I definitely do feel a little bit more weight with the steering. I've got a train coming up here, so I'll get back to you guys in just a moment. And by the way, popping it into the sport mode, so the bolsters are tight now. Well, the train finally went by, so we have gotten past the little train section. We're going over the tracks right now. Yeah, it feels just like the 21 from the suspension and all that. Nothing really feels different from what I can perceive. One thing is different is the shifter doesn't have a manual mode button, so you just have to press the paddle to go into the manual mode from my perspective, and then you hold the plus paddle to go back into automatic. Yeah, transmission seems just as responsive, and we'll get our little acceleration here. I think it might be louder. It feels just as quick. Doesn't feel any faster. Feels just as quick, but I think it might be louder. I heard a little bit more induction noise than I did with the 21, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's a nice noise out of the twin turbo 3.3 liter V6. And yeah, going over this little rough road here. Again, it feels pretty much the same, so it's smooth. The car doesn't get upset. The back end doesn't bounce all over the place, which is something that you want in a performance luxury sedan so that you can have some fun performance driving. Brakes are still just as solid. Yeah, it really seems like this was more of kind of an aesthetic change than it was really a driving change with the car. It's kind of like, okay, we're gonna put the newer infotainment system in. We're gonna make it look prettier on the outside, but the fundamentals of the car are pretty much unchanged. And so, I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I know some people might see that as a bad thing. I personally don't. And the reason that I don't see that as a bad thing is this car is just such a good car right out of the box. They didn't really need to change a whole lot with the Stinger. And with that being said, let's get our second acceleration here. Definitely louder. Definitely louder. It sounds better than the 21. It definitely sounds better than the 21. That is so fast. It's crazy how fast the Stingers are. Can I perceive the extra 3 horsepower? No. It does feel faster though because it's louder. That's anytime you make a car louder, it automatically makes it feel faster. And so even though this isn't actually faster, it sounds faster. So that's all that matters. Doesn't matter how fast you are, it matters how fast you sound. But let's get into selling things up here with the 2022. So I still think the Stinger looks great. There's not a ton of them on the road, and so it's still a very unique car, still has some road presence to it. It definitely, again, it definitely looks really nice. I definitely like this newer Kia badge. The older one, I don't have any gripes with it, but this new one kind of, I mean, people are gonna look at the car and they're gonna be like, wait, what is that? And I mean, yeah, you can read that it says Kia, but it's so stylized that some people might be like, whoa, is that a new brand? Or, you know what I mean? It might throw some people off, and I think that'd be pretty cool. The interior is great. I love this GT2 package. The seats are very comfortable, definitely more comfortable than the GT1 seats. I will say that. These seats are just softer, a little bit more supportive for my old man back from all the weightlifting I do. But yeah, as an overall package, I think that the Stinger is still great. I like the subtle updates that they did to the car. I think it works. And so yeah, if you're looking at buying a new Stinger, I would check out the new 2022. It's definitely worth it. Yes, it does drive the same. However, even though it drives the same, you do get some more cool tech. The interior is a little bit nicer infotainment system, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's the 2022 Stinger GT2. Now that is going to sum things up with our driving comparison between the 2022 Stinger and the 2021 that used to be right next to this. But yeah, again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Steiner Kia here in South Salt Lake for giving me some time with both of the Stingers. Check out their return link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.